Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ACS's Healthy Options in Local Shops webinar. Thank you all very much for joining live today, and for those of you looking back at the recording. We're really pleased to welcome you to this session because it's a great opportunity for us to, as an industry, to come together and talk about how we can increase healthy eating options in local shops. We have got some great insights to share with you from ACS's new data, Voice of Local Shops data around healthy options in local shops, and we've got some great examples of retailers that are doing this now in the sector to hopefully inspire everyone and share some best practice today. So I'm Ed Woodall, I'm Government Relations Director, and I'm going to be introducing the session and taking you through some of our data. Then I'm going to pass on to my colleague Daniel Askew, who's going to be talking around the opportunities proposed by the new high fat, salt, sugar regulations, and of course talking about the very important healthy start in the convenience sector. Then we're going to go on to our colleague Indu Gurung from the Food Foundation to talk about consumers' views on healthy eating and the new insights from the Food Foundations and how opportunities for retailers to implement changes in their store. Then I'm very pleased we've got Mike Hollis from Bestway to talk about the project that they've been doing to encourage healthy eating in stores and the great successes they've had in supporting retailers to do that. And then finally, we've got a great video from Catherine Neal from the Scotland's Healthy Living programme, which is really around encouraging relationships between shops and schools and encouraging healthier eating in stores as well. So some really great examples to share with you all this morning. And then we're going to close with a panel session with Dennis Williams from Broadway Premier, with Mike Hollis from Bestway, and with Indu Gurung from the Food Foundation to take your questions further. So please do, as we go through the presentations, think up some questions that you'd like to ask the panel. Think about some examples you'd like to share that you've done in your store, and we'll do our best to pick those up. And that panel session is going to be chaired by my colleague, Chaba. So without further ado, we'll get into sharing some of the information and insights from ACS's Voice of Local Shop survey. So we're just going to share the presentation slides now. Thank you. So what are we going to take you through this morning for our Local Shops and Healthy Eating webinar? Well, first up, just want to talk through the key findings from our Voice of Local Shops report. Then talk about the Peas Please commitment, and then finally on to discussions around the opportunity proposed by high fat, salt, sugar regulations and the healthy start in the convenience sector. So our Voice of Local Shop polling, it's our quarterly polling of 1,100 independent retailers. You can see lots of the insights from our polling on the ACS member portal, and we asked them a number of tracker questions to convenience retailers around how they feel about the confidence of economic performance of their stores, their sales in their stores, their staffing levels, and we asked them individual questions around products they're stocking or trends in the sector or things about policies that might impact them. And for the purposes of today, we've asked them a question, and we have asked this question quite consistently over a number of years around the amount of healthy food that they're stocking in store, looking particularly around fruit and veg. On the next slide, I'm pleased to report that almost a quarter of independent retailers are saying that healthier products have increased over the past 3 years in their stores, and they're offering more healthy products than they did 3 years ago. And I'm sure there are lots of trends and reasons for this. Obviously, what's happened in the pandemic has accelerated and changed baskets, makeup of baskets in convenience stores. But generally, convenience retailers are recognizing that consumers are looking for healthier products and looking to shop differently in their convenience stores. And our data demonstrates very clearly that they are responding to that request. And that's really what retailers do absolutely best in their stores. They are fast followers of what consumers want. And that's backed up on the next slide by some of the consumer data that we're seeing out there. So 77% of consumers use the fruit needs to also other changes around reducing meat consumption and thinking about health and sustainability overall in their diet. So all trends that convenience retailers are trying to respond to in store and change their options. So pleased that our data has shown that, and we have committed as part of our commitment around Peas Please to continue to track this, continue to share it across the data to show how the industry is changing, and for other retailers to learn about how they might do that in stores. So a little bit more about the Peas Please campaign. We're really pleased to be a supporter of the Food Foundation's Peas Please campaign. And it really looks to monitor the commitments of organisations like ACS and other businesses to introduce more vegetable into people's diets. So actually, we're going to hear more from Indu around this later on. But as a convenience retailer, if you'd be interested in getting involved in the Please Please campaign, it's really easy. You can get in contact with us or Indu, and we'll be able to take you through the types of pledges and commitments that you can make to make those changes in your store and support your community with their changing diets and habits. So what were the key insights that we took you through there? It was around recent polling around consumers. It was around how convenience retailers are responding and how we as ACS will continue to do this further in the future. And on the next slides, as I said, our pledges are to track annually independent convenience retailers providing more fruit and veg in stores, providing convenience retailers through today and through our other work around insights around healthy eating in that they can deliver in store. And of course, what Daniel's going to talk about is around promoting the uptake of Healthy Start, which has now moved to a new and better digital scheme, which means it's much easier for retailers to get involved with. So do think about that polling data about how convenience retailers are promoting more healthy food in store, and do think about how you might be able to get involved in the Peas Please pledge. And I'll pass over to Daniel now to talk around high fat, salt, sugar, and Healthy Start as some other food for thought for everyone on the call. Thank you very much. Daniel, over to you.
Thanks, Ed. So I'm now going to cover the wider opportunities available for retailers to implement healthier eating options in the store. So the first set of slides in my presentation I'm going to cover will be the opportunities for retailers surrounding the upcoming HFSS restrictions in October 2022. And the second part of my presentation will cover the government's Healthy Start scheme and how retailers can get involved with it. So starting with the HFSS restrictions. So the location restriction regulations, they're coming in October 22, and affected retailers are now in the stage where they're preparing their stores to be compliant with what products they sell, where they're located, and how they are displayed. So it's undeniable that the regulations have posed many challenges for retailers. They have also presented a unique opportunity for store owners to take a step back and think about and implement new changes to their stores. So there are key two examples that reflect this. The first is that retailers now will have to remove HFSS products from prominent promotional areas in their stores. So for instance, in checkout facilities and near store entrances. This means that retailers are now in a position to rethink which products they would like to replace them with. And this is leading to shop owners to take on more opportunities, to take on opportunity to sell fruit and veg and products in these areas that they normally wouldn't. So the other key example is that manufacturers are now reformulating their products so they are HFS compliant. This means that they're healthier in fat, salt, and sugar content. In light of this and the fact that, just as Ed has previously indicated, consumer trends are moving towards eating healthier, Bestway have recently launched their top 100 healthier products range. This was at the end of May, and this largely consists of healthier reformulated products that retailers can simply go to their wholesale depot and go and stock them and sell them. So here, retailers, just as I was saying, they can get involved very simply by engaging with the wholesaler. So just a recap of the HFSS regulations. There are many challenges for retailers in dealing with them, but there's also a lot of scope for opportunities for retailers wanting to implement healthier options in their shops, and they can do it in a commercially viable way through simple and small changes. So separately, I'm going to take you through the other wider opportunity available for retailers to get involved. And this is the Healthy Start scheme, which is a government initiative that helps women who are pregnant or have young children the ability to spend money on healthy products for their family. Key takeaways this for a retailer is that it's a digital scheme. A customer uses a prepaid card which has a set amount which is given by the government, and they can use this card to pay for eligible products. So what are the eligible products? You can just see on the slide following. So this is your cow's milk, your fresh frozen tin fruit and vegetables, and your pulses, just a range of assortments and fruit there. So the best part about it is that as a retailer, you do not have to register. You don't have to go through some laborious, slow process to get involved. You can start simply by accepting payments by your customer as long as you have a MasterCard reader in your store. And we also have, just on the slide available here, a guide for retailers. If you want to know more about the scheme, more information, you can click on that first link there, which is available here. And the NHS have also produced communication assets for businesses, so you can highlight the fact that you're engaging with your community on your online website or in your store. So on the right there, you can see some example till checkout stickers. So it's a really great way to just show how you're helping out your community. So just to sort of recap as in why retailers should get involved, the scheme is a great way to help people who need it most in your local community. You're attracting more customers, and the best thing is that it's free. You're helping people without incurring any nasty costs or long administrative processes. So it's a great way to get involved. So just to recap mine and Ed's presentation, our data shows that customers want to eat healthier, and the sector is positively responding to this. There are lots of opportunities available for retailers, and just as I've highlighted with the upcoming HFSS restrictions, bit of food for thought with what products they sell, how they display them, and where they put them. And lastly, that retailers can get involved very simply with the Healthy Start scheme, as it's a great way to help your local community. Thanks for listening to our presentation. The slides and the links and materials will be available on our portal for you to go back and access if needed. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks very much, Daniel, for that. And all those resources around Healthy Start are available, and we do encourage everyone to look at how they can promote that in their store. So some good thoughts there to kick us off. Now we're going to pass on to Indu from the Food Foundation to talk a little bit more, have a bit of a deeper dive into what consumers' views are around healthy eating and diet and how they are changing, the opportunities of retailers to embrace that. And do think up some questions because Indu's going to be joining on the panel later on, so I'm sure she'll be very happy to take questions. So Indu, over to you.
Thanks, Ed. Hi, everyone. I'm Indu Gurung, and I'm project manager for P3s at the Food Foundation. So yeah, as Ed said, I'll be covering the consumers' views on healthy eating and opportunities for retailers, especially with the HFSS regulations coming in. So before I dive into that, I just want to give a quick context and background as to why it is important. So poor diets is now the biggest risk factor for preventable ill health in England. So that's your cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity. And in the UK, over a quarter of adults have obesity, and those levels continue to rise, which in turn increases those illnesses. And we see similar levels in children. So the graph on your screen shows you the obesity levels in England in children, which has massively increased during the pandemic. And what's more interesting is if you look at the red line, that's children living in deprived areas, and they're significantly higher than children who are living in more affluent areas. And children with obesity are 5 times more likely to become adults with obesity, again, increasing the risk of those preventable illnesses. And those illnesses have a huge cost on the economy. The UK currently spends about £18 billion a year on direct medical cost of conditions related to being overweight or living with obesity. So to put that in perspective, that's about UK's combined budget of the police and fire services, a fifth of educational spending, and about half of the country's defence budget. So it's a massive amount. And on the graph on the right, you can see that's taken from the National Food Strategy. It just shows you that as BMI increases, so does hospital admissions and cost. So in 2012, the NHS spent on average about just under 1,500 per person with obesity, compared to just 800 for somebody of healthy weight. And the economy impacts aren't just on the NHS. Diet-related disease are one of the main drivers behind sickness absence in the UK. So as the obesity level continues to rise, so does the burden on the NHS and cost. And as part of the obesity strategy, the government introduced the HFSS regulation. And as Daniel presented earlier, it's a huge opportunity to make change. And by implementing price and promotional restrictions on HFSS products, the government's impact assessment of those proposals has determined that both price and promotion restrictions will benefit our health and with a net benefit to society of about £7 billion over 25 years. So do consumers want change? Well, the 2021 IGD appetite for change data indicates yes, about 58% of UK shoppers are willing to change their diets to be healthier and more sustainable, which is, I think, the same figure as what Ed presented earlier. So the 35% figure in blue are those who are already making changes, and that figure has remained consistent over the past 3 years that IGD have carried out this survey. However, the figure in green and orange kind of tends to fluctuate year on year, so that shows you there's opportunity to influence those people to kind of move them into that blue box. And also a consumer poll carried out by Food Standard Agency reported similar data, with 63% of consumers stating that they would like to make changes to a healthier diet. And of those, 68% wanted to eat more fruit and veg. IGD reported the main driver for change has been due to personal health, followed by family health, and that's only increased during the pandemic. And what's also interesting is they reported that environment is becoming an increased driver. Indicating that consumers are placing sustainable diets high on their agenda. And interestingly, both research, so the IGD and the Food Standard Agency research showed that the cost of healthier product was one of the biggest barriers to eating more healthy and sustainable diets. So this graph here shows you, this is like recent data from the Food Foundation. So we carried out a poll, and it found that 81% of households would find it helpful for supermarkets to put essential products on promotions as opposed to junk foods. So those essential products would be your fruit and veg, your pasta, rice, and canned foods. And research by the Obesity Health Alliance reported 62% of people support the restriction on promotion offers on unhealthy foods in supermarkets. And also that 78% of people support manufacturers reducing sugar from everyday foods. So yes, it's clear that consumers want to eat healthier, but they definitely need some support from the food industry to make healthier choices. IGD suggested 5 ways businesses can help consumers. So one would be signposting to your healthy and sustainable products. 2 would be product placement, so putting your healthier options in higher footfall areas or at the front of the store, creating product solutions, motivating change through influencing tactics, so you can inspire people by providing healthy and sustainable recipes along with the products that you sell, or creating incentives for people to purchase healthier products. You can put them on promotions. And some examples of those things, I just wanted to share a couple. So one, Sainsbury's flipped their marketing techniques by using friendly family price promotions to boost healthier purchases. So what they did was they offered Disney brand collectible cards for families who bought healthier foods that were on promotion, and stores that were running that offer saw an average increase of nearly 400% of fruit that was sold. Another sort of placement of products, a grocery store in Warwick saw sales of their fruit and veg increase by 15% during a 40-week trial, just by moving their fresh aisle by the entrance. And something that's not worked is a trial by Tesco. So they put social norm messaging to kind of nudge and influence people to purchase more fruit and veg, but that showed no significant impact on sales of those products. Earlier Ed did go through Peace Please. So we are a nationwide initiative, and Food Foundation are the lead agency. So our mission is all about increasing veg consumption. So if you'd like to join the initiative, yes, please do contact Ed or myself. But we do have a range of businesses, from retailers to caterers to wholesalers. But I guess the kind of pledges that would be more relevant to you would be that retailers have made are such as increasing sales of veg in store. They've spent and prioritized marketing healthy food, specifically veg, and also supported uptake of Healthy Start. So that's just by putting more branding of Healthy Start in the store. Or last year, before the digitization happened, they were offering a pound extra for those beneficiaries. So that all kind of links nicely with the HFSS regulations that's coming in. And just to give you a couple of examples of case studies that pledges have done, which is obviously this is very top level, but Sainsbury's they carried out a big fruit and veg challenge where customers could earn extra nectar points. That's kind of creating more incentive. Tesco did a price promotion on their fresh fruit and veg as part of their Fresh 3 scheme, so that they saw an increase of 13% during the 6-month trial. And all the retailers have moved veg in high footfall places, so that'll be like at the front of your stores. They all commit to promoting vegetables in their social and print, so their magazines, and also create really bright signage in store. And also they've all committed to promote Healthy Start in store as well. Oops, sorry. Just to finish off, just to say that ultimately, as the cost of diet-related illnesses increase, the government will and are implementing policies, but just one policy isn't going to solve the obesity crisis, unfortunately. So we will be expecting to see more interventions by the government. But yeah, I think kind of doing these voluntary steps and making these changes, we can work ahead of when the policies come and be a bit more prepared. But that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Indu, for that update from the Food Foundation. Clear, exceptionally clear around what's happening in this space. So consumers obviously looking to change their diets. Interesting insights around what's worked and what hasn't worked. So product and price promotion and make more space for fruit and veg. And then what hasn't worked, social norming and bundling meals. I was surprised by the bundling meals. I thought that would be something that would support consumers and perhaps making those different choices. But again, another request to engage with the Peas Please campaign. So please do think about that. And some further thoughts around more policy interventions. Obviously, we have the high fat, salt, sugar regulations, but a clear indication of a requirement for more intervention in this space. So interesting to see what happens there. So that now we want to move on to hear directly from what retailers have been doing and learn about what Bestway have been doing. And really pleased to have Mike here to share those insights with us and learning around their projects with helping retailers to deliver healthy eating in store. So Mike, over to you.
Thanks, Ed. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Hollis, the retail director at Bestway. Dan, I think you're driving, so if you can go to the next slide. I'll kind of share some learnings that we found and just talk through one of the examples that we're trying to do to drive the agenda. So just touching on the role of convenience stores first. So we know independent convenience stores perform a vital role in their local communities, and we saw this massively through the pandemic about how we can influence what people eat. Servicing the local needs of families where people work, commute, and they live is a big part of our agenda. And families in low-income areas really rely on our stores for their daily needs. And quite often we see these customers visit our shops 3 times a day. Research has shown us that convenience is a key determinant in the food that we eat, and it's only following food affordability in their priorities. Busy families, the elderly and teens on their way home from work or school will often use convenience stores to top up their weekly shop or grab a bite to eat or drink. And our role as convenience and symbol store group in Bestway is to ensure we help our retailers provide options for their customers that are affordable and appropriate to the customers they serve, and we help them understand the market they serve in. So we can go to the next slide. I just want to start to talk through one of the things we've been doing across Bestway Wholesale. So as the largest privately owned wholesaler in the UK, we were the first major wholesaler to respond positively to the launch of the National Food Strategy and the Government Obesity Strategy by launching a healthier options range of over 130 lines in our Croydon and Lewisham depots ahead of a national rollout. The initiative is supported by the charity Impact on Urban Health and key industry bodies like the ACS. And our objective has been to make healthier options more available and affordable for our retailers and their customers, which is also important to the industry agenda as a whole. We've seen lots of keen support from local government around this to help wholesalers get this right for independent retailers. And we've been providing and continue to provide our retailers with the opportunity to buy a wider range of healthier options from the wholesale channel with trade events like the one on the slide. This reinforces the work we've been doing on a wholesale good food project trial, which has delivered a 17% sales uplift of healthier option products back in 2021. Next slide, please, Dan. So we launched the healthier options range, which provides opportunities for retailers to drive sales and profits whilst providing local customers with improved availability and affordability of healthier options. This is especially important as communities look to build back a healthier lifestyle after the pandemic, whilst navigating the cost of living crisis that we're all facing into at the moment. Our healthier option range is built on 3 key principles. Focus. So the range is our top 100 healthier options, and we treat them as key value items. We feature these products, so this range receives a greater share of voice in our national customer consumer campaigns, and there are a minimum of at least 5 or 6 promotions on every Best One promotion as a dedicated page of 12 products in our monthly wholesale promotions as well. This represents at least 10% of our overall range, which is more than our core range. And then the third principle is base price. So the KVIs are benchmarked against multiple competition and prices set to be sharp enough to attract consumers whilst providing our retailers with attractive margins, and the retail prices are checked against Tesco every month. Next slide, please, Dan. So by buying into the healthier options, the national wholesale promotions on a 4-weekly basis, retailers have the opportunity to leverage and enhance the POR across the featured lines. By buying into the consumer offer across the healthier range, the retailer then allows the shoppers to buy into healthier options at promotional prices. This drives better value and raises awareness of the healthier options that are more accessible and affordable. Both the cash and carry and retail promotions are supported with retail point of sale in the form of shelf markers to promote these lines as being a healthier alternative at a great promotion price. And retailers are encouraged to merchandise these products next to the regular lines to allow shoppers to make that choice at the point of sale. For any additional support, we always ask stores to contact us so we can help them with their layouts, and we support them with merchandising. So that's just one of the things we've been doing. And if we just kind of flip back now to overall, we go on to the next slide, please, Dan. So we know that COVID-19, the outbreak has increased many people's awareness of what they eat, and they want to be healthy. However, the income squeeze will hit efforts to eat healthily due to perceptions that it's harder and it's more expensive to buy healthy products on a budget. So we as independent retailers have a key role to play in making healthier options more accessible and affordable for our shoppers. This is why I've been working across the trial since 2019 to understand the barriers for retailers and shoppers. And what we've done is we've repositioned our proposition in terms of cost cutter, Best One and bargain booze, where cost cutter proposition is about a fresh food offer, a fresh food led proposition, maximising the opportunity that the co-op owned label gives, but also driving a much larger range of fresh SKUs. Now, up to 3,000 products are available. So if you are in a neighbourhood where you can serve that type of customer, we would encourage you to go to the cost cutter proposition. And then our Best One proposition is our impulse-led proposition. And this is a combination of fresh and ambient products. But what we're noticing in the market is that consumers are demanding healthier options. So we're looking for retailers to integrate these healthy products within their core range. So a quick example is, you have to sell Coke Zero as well as normal Coke, obviously. And then we're noticing that consumers are looking to shop their everyday needs to incorporate easily at no cost to them the healthier option. So look, a quick whistle-stop tour of what we're trying to do in wholesale and what we're trying to do in the propositions. We've been doing this for about a month down in Croydon and Lewisham Initial results are very encouraging. We plan to review this after 3 months, and then all being well, we'll take some learnings and we're going to roll it out. So that's it, what we're doing in Bestway very quickly, and look forward to taking some questions later on.
Thank you very much, Mike, for sharing that. And obviously a month in, so early, but pleased to see that the results are positive. And I'm sure there'll be lots of questions around how that's gone in the panel session. So please don't forget, everyone, to put your questions, if you have questions, into the chat, and we will do our best to ask those to our panelists later on. On to the final presentation now, which is around the Healthy Living Programme in Scotland, which links to Dennis Williams, who's part of this programme, who's going to be on our panel later, but hopefully going to share with you a video now, sharing some insights around what they do.
Hi, I'm Suki and we run the day-to-day along with my husband. We've worked along with the SGF Healthy team for several years now. The continued support and the role they've played in the retail sector has been absolutely fantastic. We've built a lot of community relationships and strong links with their help. Up to date, we've worked with, I think, up to 3 or 4 primary schools. Within the schools, we've done healthy breakfasts. Along with healthy breakfasts, we've also done healthy options days at sports days and fun days. They were sometimes quite challenging, but also quite fun. But along with the support of the team, it was quite an eventful day, shall we say.
We're happy to support the Healthy Living Programme. As you can see, things have moved from unhealthy eating to healthier eating. We're seeing a notable increase in salad boxes, pastas, other healthier choices. So thanks very much to the Healthy Living Programme for helping us achieve this.
So as convenience retailers, we very much play an important part within the community, and a big part of that is encouraging healthy eating within our store. Obviously we supply a vast array of products within the store, but it's important to make sure that whilst it's sometimes easier to sell the less healthy products, it's about showcasing the fantastic healthy products that we can also have in store, and encourage the customers to think about these products as well.
Just a wee quick note just to say thank you to the ladies at the Healthy Living Initiative who have helped us over the years. We have done various events from big breakfasts, and we normally have a tradition where the children come and visit the post office at Christmas and sample lots of different fruit and veg. It's great, it builds up a great relationship with the community and the children who are our next generation of customers. We really enjoy it, it's good fun.
It's a lot of fun, the kids love it, it's great, it's just good all round for the community, and it helps our store as well because they're our future shoppers. So great stuff, SGF Healthy Living, much appreciated.
And thank you all.
Stock has worked with the Healthy Living Programme for some years now. It's in line with our own company aim to serve our customers, communities and planet a little better every day. The programme sends a positive message about children being able to make healthier choices in our stores, and we are committed to improving the healthy choices available to them. The Healthy Living programme enables and educates children to check the labelling on products and identify the healthier choice. And we're looking forward to continue working with the Healthy Living programme team in this important and worthwhile initiative.
Hello, I'm one of the managers from Margiota, and I just want to introduce the new stands we've got, the bespoke stands for our shops. It's really good to see, so that we're individual now for people to come in and they can help themselves to all our lovely fresh fruit and veg, and it stands out to all you lovely customers.
Healthy Living Scotland in the last 14 years have been very supportive of me, the shop, and everything we do here. We are beholden as retailers and traders to sell the best quality food that we can, which is what we do. And the support and advice and help from Catherine, Yvonne and the whole team has been fantastic, and I'd like to thank them personally very much.
So some great examples there of the Healthy Living programme in Scotland, about showcasing healthy products in stores, around engaging schools and young people in those products. And also, I think it really demonstrated the different options available to different retailers. There was obviously food to go counters, small concessions, shelf-edge labels, so something for everyone to be able to engage in that, and clear evidence that that programme has worked. So looking forward to hearing more about that from Dennis and others on the panel. So I'm going to pass over to Chaba now from ACS to facilitate the panel with Dennis Williams from Broadway Premier, from Mike Hollis and Indu Gurung from Food Foundation. So welcome back, everyone, and over to you, Chaba.
Thank you, Ed, and thank you, Indu and Mike, for some great insights there. Really shocking how much health is impacting us as a nation, and it's really great to see some of the actions that Bestway are taking to try and mitigate that. So my name is Chaba Bala, Supplier Relations Executive at the ACS. Some of you may have come across me already from our Club and Connect memberships, and maybe even seen me at some events that we host. Dennis, I'm conscious we haven't heard from you yet, so if you don't mind starting by introducing yourself and your store, that'd be great.
Yeah, Dennis Williams. I'm a premier retailer from Edinburgh, about 1,700 square feet, and next year we'll be celebrating our 40 years.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Congratulations on that. So let's dive straight in. So this is a question to all of you, and Dennis, I'm going to start with you, then Indu, and then Mike. So Dennis, how can retailers encourage healthier options within their stores, and maybe give some examples of what you are doing as well?
Well, I think, first of all, going back to the healthy eating programme in Scotland, I think that's been a massive success. I think some of the comments, really highlighted that, it's working with your local community, and obviously that's your next generation of customers as well coming up. So that's a fantastic opportunity for everybody, and it gets the healthy eating programme over, and the healthy eating point over to all young people, start from a young age, from P1 till P7 in Scotland, which is great. I think in our store, we have a food to go area. Obviously, some of the big things we do is salad boxes. We do fruit boxes as well, and we do strawberries, raspberries. We do all soft fruit. So there's loads of opportunities there, for on our food to go area, where we use both. Where somebody made the point that you're giving them a choice of both. It's maybe, as you would say, maybe a unhealthy product, but also obviously you're giving them a healthy product as well. So you're having a best of both worlds. But I think I think getting especially with the new laws that's coming in, I think we've really got to be really looking forward and using more healthy eating produce and more healthy eating programs to help us, get that story into your store. And it's been a great success for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like the fact that you're already sort of thinking of the next generation coming through, because they are essentially going to be your sort of future customers in sort of 5-10 years, maybe.
Yeah, and we've done a couple of big breakfasts, you know, in our school, and their local school is 400. I think there's about 470 kids, and it's really a great, you know, community building for your store. It's great PR for your store as well, and you get to know the children. And obviously, once you get to know the children, they bring their mums and dads in as well. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. And to be fair, there's some of the kids don't know some of the fruits and veg that you give them on the day. So it's new to them as well. We tried porridge, which you'd never believe it. Some people, especially in Scotland, that they'd never tasted before. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and I think the programme itself has been fantastic. So it's been a really win-win-win for us.
That's amazing. Thank you, Dennis. Indu, what about you? What do you think that retailers can do to encourage healthier options within their stores?
Yeah, like Dennis said, I guess it's about getting involved with the healthy initiatives that are already out there. So you kind of have, I guess, almost like a toolkit on how to get started. But another point I like to make, I know some of the convenience stores are very small and there's limited space. So I guess for them, one way you can kind of kickstart is with your long life shelf products. And that would be like your legumes, which are as healthy and sustainable at the same time. So kind of offering them at a lower cost as well, because since the pandemic, I know there's been more kind of retail, shoppers are going into more discounted stores as well, rather than your big like Sainsbury's and Tesco. So, and to hear from Mike that your local community is going into these like stores 3 times a week, that's a great opportunity to kind of influence them as well. And yeah, other things I guess would be learning from other convenience stores and, you know, what kind of things they've been doing. So I highlighted in my presentation different ways that you could be influencing people. But yeah, I think taking learnings from other convenience stores and people in your sector and implementing that in your store.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Mike, what about you? How would you say retailers can encourage healthier options?
Yeah, look, I think the first thing I would say is the market's going to encourage it for you. So this is getting higher on people's agenda all the time. So, you know, in terms of your offer, you need to be considering this all the time. The market is going to drive consumers in that are looking for healthier options. People are more conscious about health now than they've ever been, and that's only going to increase from what the market data shows us. So commercially, you need to be offering healthy options. You know, understand your local trade market and tailor that offer to them. So therefore, you know, if you are going to offer, if you are a high food for now, high footfall store, the healthier options, snacking and food to consume now will sell well. So think about how you range it. I talked about it in the presentation. How you merchandise products is important. So, you know, if you're gonna offer a healthier, you know, less salt, less sugar, less fat option, merchandise it next to the higher salt, sugar and fat option. Consumers can make the choice at the point of sale, which is important, and promote these products. You know, the market is going there, so promote it. This will drive footfall into your shop, and while consumers are in buying this stuff, they'll buy other stuff as well. So, you know, an opportunity to increase the basket size. So, you know, I would encourage every retailer to get this on their agenda, because this is coming. So embrace it. It's a massive opportunity.
Thank you, Mike. That kind of brings me on to my next question, which you've answered there. So it was really about how essential is it for retailers to provide the healthier option. So I'm going to change it slightly for you, Mike. Where do you think the sort of peak of this health demand is? Sort of, are we in the early stages of it? Are we sort of near the peak, or how far will this go?
Look, I mean, from the data I've seen, this is more important to younger people. And I think we said it earlier, you know, these are our future customers. So my guess is, you know, as they become older, you know, it's going to stay being important. So I think it's going to get more important as time goes on. Legislation is going to force it into through HFSS, etc. So I think we are at the beginning of the journey, or certainly in maybe the first third of it. I don't see this going backwards. I can't see us promoting products in years to come, or an industry shift in years to come, marketing products that aren't healthy for consumers, if that makes any sense. So this is coming, and like I said, embrace it. You know, it's a great commercial opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Dennis, would you agree with that? Sort of, do you think there are any exceptions at all, or should every retailer sort of be offering healthier options?
Oh, I think, yeah. Can I just go back a little bit? But I think one of the things that, you know, that Mike made a good valid point here as well. Remember the price of fuel now. So I think people are going to be driving about less. So hopefully they'll be, you know, going to their more convenience stores, and that, you know, hopefully more often. So I think that's a big plus for us. And I agree with what Mike says as well. I think you've got to give them the option, you know, and give them a wide option. I always feel in our sector, now this is only my opinion, that I think that a lot of people are scared to do a wide variety of fruit and veg. We've done it since day one, since we got our refits done many years ago, and it's been a great success. The other thing you can do as well is you can do tasting days in stores, you know, with soft fruits. And one of the other things that I think nobody's talked about yet, you can use social media. There's not enough of that, I think, that we use, that we use in general, you know, promoting healthy products on our social media. And I think it's a great opportunity. So that's one of the things that I would bring up as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that sort of next generation coming up will be sort of, you know, growing up with social media. So it's a very, very powerful tool going forward. If
you look at TikTok, everybody's on, you know, all the kids that are on TikTok, you know, and the thing is, it's not difficult to do. You know, I think, again, it's not every store does it, but some of the stores that do it really well, and it costs you nothing.
You know, we've seen some great examples as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen, but maybe that's a thing that we could work on, the ACS could work on, you know, to promote, you know, or the industry in general, our sector, we could promote more healthy, especially with the laws that's coming in. I think, I don't know, I'm just touching that by you.
Yeah, no, I suppose that's the point of this webinar at the moment, trying to sort of encourage healthier options. So let's go on to the next question. So the cost of living is going up, and you know, consumers are looking for cheaper options, but they're also sort of more conscious about eating healthy. You know, it's probably going to be more difficult to make those choices. How can retailers make those choices a little bit easier for consumers that, you know, might be on a tighter budget in the coming sort of years and months? So Mike, what do you think? Could you sort of expand on your presentation a little bit there?
Yeah, look, I think, yes, I mean, clearly the cost of living is high on most people's agenda, and how they balance that versus health and well-being and what they eat. And look, in my experience, eating healthy doesn't have to be more expensive. You know, the suppliers are introducing, you know, lower fat options, lower sugar options all the time that are generally priced similar to the traditional products. So, you know, that's about how you merchandise and how you encourage customers to switch in. You know, I'd encourage retailers. I think Dennis was saying it earlier, you know, merchandising healthy options on promotion ends, feature space, showing customers you've got it, shout about what great value it is. Because, you know, like I say, this is front of people's minds. It doesn't have to be more expensive. I mean, you know, we say this a lot to the retailers we work with. You know, go back to Dennis's point about fresh foods. You know, if we were talking 30 years ago, our footfall driving categories would have been tobacco, so high fat, high sugar, tobacco categories. Whereas today, it's completely the opposite. It's fresh foods, it's healthy products that are footfall driving categories that bring people into your shop, and they will buy other stuff while they're in. So I think we've got to start thinking of this as an industry that says this is our future footfall driving categories, and therefore the more you can shout about it, the more that will do your business or future-proof your business as time goes on.
Yeah, and like sort of going back to Indu's presentation, if the cost of living is sort of cost of healthy food, is the biggest barrier to entry, then maybe it's about that educational piece and telling them that actually it doesn't have to be more expensive to eat healthy.
And if you think about sugar drinks, it's cheaper to buy a no sugar drink than a sugar drink. Or I think legislation is going to come in through tax and what have you. There's actually going to mean that eating healthily isn't more expensive than not.
Yeah, Indu, what do you think? How could retailers, do you have anything to add to that, or do you have a different sort of thing to bring into this on how retailers can help consumers on a tighter budget?
Yeah, I completely agree with Mike. I think it's about kind of promoting and shouting about all your healthy products. And yeah, as cost of living tightens, people tend to choose the cheaper option, which at the moment, unfortunately, is the unhealthy option. So I think if you kind of flip that on its head and make your healthier products more affordable, then yeah, I feel like that would kind of influence people to be purchasing more healthier products. And going back to what Mike was saying about the sugar drink levy, yeah, you know, I think they saw a 10% increase of those reformulated products sales, and you know, there was less calories being consumed as well. So I think all these legislation are going to support and influence shoppers to make healthier choices, but we can be also doing stuff around it as well at the same time while we wait for the regulations to be kicking in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about you, Dennis? What do you sort of see in your store? How you know, are people perceiving healthier food as more expensive, or are you sort of trying to educate them?
No, I just think that's, people always think like that, you know, but I think if you, going back to what Mike says, I agree with him. I think if you do, you know, your presentation's good and your quality is good, I don't think that people mind paying a bit more, you know, for good fruit and veg. Well, they don't in my store because we've done that for a long time. But I think if you give, listen, you can't beat quality, you know, and I think people are willing to pay, although I know things are going to get tougher. I still think that people will pay a little bit extra to pay for quality food, and it's not. I just think it's a lot of it has been, you know, it's gone back a long time that fruit and veg was really expensive. I don't think it is. I think it's the way people, perception and how people think. But I think that's changed. I think, and why it's changed a bit as well is with the pandemic. I think what happened in our sector was it gave a lot of people that never shopped in our sector before, when they were coming in, I think that they seen that the convenience store sector, their sector, wasn't really more expensive than what they thought it was. And I think that's really helped us.
So it's sort of more about moving past the perceptions of convenience and health in general is sort of more expensive, and sort of we went back with Mike, educating those people.
Yeah, definitely. I think what Mike's done with the leaflet there, I think that's fantastic. So I take my hat off to him. I think it looks, I don't know what kind of uplift has Mike had in that. It'd be interesting to know that.
So the first trial, Dennis, we got a 17% wholesale uplift. We're about 3 weeks into, 4 weeks now into this, the latest. So we're going to review it again in another 2 months' time. But it's encouraging that we're ahead of where we were when we did it the first time round. So we're anticipating at least a 35% uplift from what we've seen so far. But we're happy to share the results when we finish the trial. And look, if it works, you'll find it in every Bestway Batley's cash and carry around the country.
The only thing is, Mike, I'm afraid I don't go there. Listen, it's a great. Listen, I take my hat off to these guys. It's great, and that's another thing, you know. It's because we're big on Facebook and that. It'd be great for us, you know, to do these things and put on social media. It's a win-win-win.
Absolutely, 100%. Social media is really powerful, I think, for this agenda.
Yeah,
that'd be great. If you could share it with us, Mike, we'll share it around as well. So, just conscious of time, guys. So, final messages really from all of you for retailers, suppliers, or consumers. You know, any bits of advice to just simple bits of advice to increase healthier choices within the population, I suppose. So I'll start with you, Mike, Indu, and then Dennis. You got the final say.
Yeah, look, I would say I've said it earlier. This is coming, so embrace it. Get it on your agenda. Look for alternatives. So give consumers the choice and think about how you merchandise it. Promote the healthy products well. And as Dennis has talked about, get on the fresh food agenda. This is our footfall driving category for years to come. As consumers shop more locally, they're going to demand a good fresh food offer, a quality fresh food offer, as Dennis said, on their doorstep. And whilst they're in buying their quality fresh foods, they'll buy other stuff.
Amazing. Thank you. Indu?
Yeah, definitely echo everything that Mike has just said. I think, like I mentioned before, you know, getting involved with healthy initiatives to support you in making those transitions, and really kind of, marketing your healthier products. And the government policies are going to keep coming in. They've already done their TFL bans, you know, and that's a good decrease in HFSS products that have been bought when those bans came in. So yeah, I think it's just getting ahead of yourself, getting health on the agenda, and yeah, these younger population, you know, climate change is on the front and center of their minds. Eating healthy and sustainable, that's just going to keep growing, I think.
Amazing. And then Dennis, you've got the final word.
They've stole all my thunder. I just echo what both of them have said. I think for me, as in our sector, is it? I think we've really got to, you know, grasp what's coming down the line and really go for it big time. You know, as Mike said earlier, in days gone by, tobacco and beers, wines and spirits was a big thing. That it's changed now completely. So I think you've got to get behind fresh food, chilled and fruit and veg, and really promote that in a big way. And obviously social media, massive opportunity. So that would be my couple of things to finish with.
Amazing. Dennis, Indu, Mike, thank you very much for coming on today. Thank you for your time, everyone else.